Hi again, my name is Jace. I'm sharing my case publicly, following the lead from Mark Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada. When the rules no longer protect you, you have to protect yourself. I am a man who escaped violence from the United States and sought protection in 5 countries. I tried to live back home in Egypt. I was attacked. I lost my knee. I suffered from sternum fracture in the United States based on a staged accident. I lost 6 of my teeth under the pressure of persecution in the United States, and Canada is the 5th country to seek asylum at, where transnational repression pattern is highly strong. I'm still persecuted in Canada, and the only option left, as Mark said, where you have few options, they kept me unemployed for years, so financial broke, and no country is sovereign enough over the United States to protect me. So the only option left is visibility, to share my case publicly and create a public record, and that's a valuable advice from Mark in my situation, in my case. So, uh, episode 6, I will share about psychological operations, what a PSYOP means, and the big picture of it. All previous tactics were part of a coordinated psychological operation. This is not a conspiracy theory. General Flynn, right, the former advisor of Trump, when the CIA messed up with him, they accused him of being a conspiracy theorist, right? And as I discussed before, my ex-wife, she contacted me from Atlanta, Georgia, love bombing, big dreams, big city, stuff like that. But when I get married, she moved to Statesboro, Georgia. Isolation, which is a tactic the psychologists recognize as a weapon to use against targets. That's what it proves. It's a psychological operation. Statesboro location is the hard evidence of the psych operation, of the CIA one. And I started to complain that this is not a place where we can build a married life. She told me, you'll play a victim. So this is how things works. So in my submissions, you'll find here PSYOP, POLI, NADA, KEYS, NESS, and CIA. Let me be clear. NADA, which is about Canada, I did not share it with the Canadians. I shared it with the Inter-American Commission for Human Rights and the Norwegians. And this was a trap for them that confirmed to me that I'm persecuted. I'm a target in Canada, but I'll explain this later. So let's go through this. This is the CIA submission. So this submission is kind of a match between my experience, my accusations against the United States, why I believe it's the CIA, because it's a match between what I have experienced and what the CIA have done before, right? Even in sonic attacks, the use of sound waves to torture somebody without touching him, right? So this submission is about the CIA, how they do things, and why it matched with me. So here, extraction marriage. CIA declassified documents. Marriage is a documented extraction tactic. Weaponized church. This happened in March 1978. CIA infiltration of religious institution is documented. So basically, I went to church to solve my divorce problem based on a recommendation from a Home Depot manager. That was an operation, right? So the church that baptized me part of an operation, right? God bless, I did not get baptized under any influence from anything, which is proven later. But weaponizing churches is what the CIA used, and they let the Mormon church offer me jobs with whatever money I want, just get baptized, right? Gaslighting, this book of Merlo, which is I already shared in the forensic analysis. I mentioned earlier it's an AI. It was me, not AI. Where is it? This forensic analysis. So the act of menticide, how they play into your mind, which is their focus. They love to play with your mind. Let me share this. It's written in this book, The Rape of the Mind. You're not fit as a cashier, you're not fit as a dog walker, you are not fit as a customer service, you're not fit as a financial accountant, not a tax accountant, not financial analyst, not anything, right? You came from a different planet. We don't deal with these kind of creatures in America, right? And how they do that is they use the people around you. Nobody will identify himself as an agent around you, but they have the character to demonstrate influence over others, and that you are the target and the others around you. They know how to hire them to do their orders and targets operation, right? So Dr. Ramani talked about the Truman Show. You are the Truman in their show, and they create this using the people around you. And Just Merlo here talks about it, right? So, for example, when I call the domestic violence lifeline in the U.S., they transfer me to suicide lifeline. Why you transfer me to suicide lifeline? Stuff like that. But they need to manufacture these kind of things. So yes, Joe Smerly here discussed how psychological coercion, brainwashing, and totalitarian methods of control are not just about compliance. They can, in extreme cases, destroy a person's will, identity, and even lead to death. He describes these techniques as attacks on the human spirit and autonomy, sometimes leading to mental collapse, despair, or suicide. In that sense, yes, the methods can kill either directly or by pushing someone toward a breakdown that can result in this. My name is Jace Bass, also known as Ayman Umar. I have accused, and I'm still accusing the United States using its intelligence agencies and even investigative agencies to get me to that level. I am accusing, and I accuse the United States. They have done their best. They have done their best. Like when I was tortured in the shelter with sound waves, I started seeing people expressing anger, right? Hitting the wall, stuff. Get the anger inside you, right? So they are masters of getting you to commit a crime and get angry. They need this anger from inside you. Here in this analysis, forensic analysis, I'm an auditor, so I kind of learned how to collect evidence and validate it. So you can infer here on how cognitive dissonance work, how the people will never believe you, and that's what they rely on. No one will believe you, right? Go kill yourself. Nobody will respond to you. Not the Justice Department, not the FBI. Nobody will respond to you. We can torture you. We can destroy your life the way we want. And that's why, so they apply these tactics to make you paranoid, always under threat, always under fear, which I lost my teeth for worrying every day and every night, right? But when you start behaving in paranoia, oh, somebody will take my stuff. Like in the reception center, the people talking, who take your jacket? Somebody stole the jacket, stealing. Same in America. People are stealing phones. Nobody was stealing anything, right? So they make you paranoid, right? Staged overhearings. You hear somebody talking, my 90 days are over, I'll be in the streets, what am I supposed to do? Crisis, right? Which is actually also discussed in the PSYOPs. So here. So if it happens where you see somebody is homeless, especially like now. I don't talk to myself, but if you see somebody talking to himself or herself homeless, it's not because they have mental health disease or something. They should be in the hospital receiving treatment, right? If they are feeling guilt about something, they handle the guilt. If they have anger problems, whatever these kind of psychiatric problems, they have programs to heal you from it. These are people who have been destroyed systematically, right? I might have the 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 blessing of living in different countries before moving to the United States. Might have the blessing that after becoming a Christian, I learned that there's no shame in my suffering, right? So uh, my faith stand strong during this time. But others, especially those who live in a single country, right, because their mind is not open on how things works, right? Uh, they unfortunately may have not sustained this level of violence because it's extreme, right? Even in Egypt, when I got fired, my sister started talking to herself. The first time in my life to see my sister talking to herself. And she started telling me, hey, talk to yourself, no problem, talk to yourself, talk to yourself. Talk to myself, same thing. So they put those people around you when you are tortured, right? When it's hard enough on you. Talk to yourself. As soon as you talk to yourself, they will let the public and say, hey, look, see, he's talking to himself. Something wrong in his mind. And that's what Joost Merlo here confirmed that persecution is real, and these tactics are real, it can get you collapse. They try everything, even uh, the absence of a mother in your life, stuff like that. And they were wrong about that with me, you know. So here also Ross Rosenberg confirmed these kind of tactics. Gaslighting is a mind control strategy that is purposely, systematically done to control another person by changing their thoughts, feelings, memories, and their belief system about who they are. I call that a gaslit self-narrative. As I explained in my Human Magnet Syndrome book, we all have a self-narrative. Let's pretend we are anyway. So Ross here is confirming my accusations against the United States government that this is a CIA psych operation where they tried to convince me, man, the hell, cashier, you get fired, customer service, you get fired, mass shooter, financial analyst, get fired in 1 month, accountant, get fired, tax accountant, get fired. Dog walking was blocked for me. I show her that, hey, see, I got 36 reviews, 5 stars, as a dog walker on Rover, right? So when I was chased in this hide and fire, this dog walking has no blaze, right? So I was trying to play smart that, hey, I can just open my phone somewhere in Manhattan, somewhere in Brooklyn. They cannot control the requests. As soon as I open this phone, I receive requests, right? So I tried to make money and it worked. And when it worked, I bought a car, right, to save time to get more uh, requests, right? So it's not a shame for me to dog walk. I did not belong to this culture. They thought that I belonged to this culture, but anyway. So this is what Ross, let me get back to what Ross was trying to say. You're not good as dog walking. They blocked dog walking for me. I proved it. Stuff like that. Here, when I escaped to California, uh, I was contacted by Robert Half, and they asked me to complete an accounting test. So I finished the test in 10 minutes, right? The average time from all people who completed the test was 24 minutes. The allowed time was actually an hour, 60 minutes. So I scored 83% in 10 minutes going through 32 questions, right? So this is somehow exceptional, you know? And I completed this inside the shelter where I was harassed, right? So I had to finish it in 10 minutes because I need to avoid harassment. When I had my own time to complete the block advisor certification account, I scored 100%, right? Because of the harassment or this kind of pressure they exercise on me inside the shelter, I had to finish it in 10 minutes. But even though in 10 minutes I scored 38%, and getting back to what Ross has said, is this is a systemic way of changing their thoughts, feelings, memories, and their belief system. So even though I scored 83%, it's within the strong criteria here that I have a strong accounting knowledge. They told me, hey, no, we cannot hire you as a manager. No, 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 no. Managers who score 90 and above, this is horrible, terrible. No, 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 no. You can be a senior accountant. This is like, what kind of it's like this, right? They treat you in this way, like 83%. No, it's like that. Well, I told the guy, well, this happened in 10 minutes. If you have somebody else completed the test 10 minutes, I'm not bragging. I'm just sharing my case. This is about character assassinations, tactics, stuff like that. So I'm still aware that I'm not bragging. I'm telling you guys I'm not bragging. I'm just sharing my case publicly because I lost my knee, I lost everything, and this has become so ridiculous that every country just obey orders from America like gods anyway. So I challenged this guy, okay, if you have somebody else to compare me with who completed the test in 10 minutes, just let me know, right? But then I was not hired, right? And that's what Ross Rosenberg proof. And beside what Dr. Ramani said, you have to run, right? And I run. I left the United States. But then he confirmed that they will do anything to destroy you. They will do anything to demean you. They will do anything to take away believability, right? Which, when they smear you, everybody around believe the story of what the CIA is saying. I don't know what they were saying, but I came to know how they smear me. So a guy in Norway come and tell me, hey, get back to Islam and I'll give you money. Now I realize that they smear me as the guy who converted to Christianity to get money. Okay, well, I confronted the FBI director that I lived 6 years in the United States under poverty level. I never applied for benefits, right? And that's what they rely on. They squeeze you hardly destabilize you from a job to another. So the only solution left is to apply for benefits. And then they discredit you. He came to America to apply for benefits, right? So I applied for benefits after they tried to kill me. My car was destroyed. They blocked me from driving. They fired me from my jobs. I stayed unemployed for 3 months. I had no other option other than to apply for benefits, and I left the United States with $600 in my benefits account. Anyway, so yeah, so this CIA supplemental submission, you will find what is happening to me matching with their documented tactics. One thing that I mentioned before, here you go, this is the email that I discussed, I guess, in the previous episode. You told me this is my email to the career coach. Anyway, so when I emailed her saying, hey, why you block me from LinkedIn after I commented about the truth, which I believe it's the truth. This is how the American government persecute people, right? They rely on our Eastern culture. We will feel guilt-tripped about not knowing how to create a resume that works in America. Anyway, so You told me I was rude. This is my email to her. Questioning an American woman with 20 years of experience, only 200 contacts on LinkedIn, born and raised in California, with a website from the 80s. Being sarcastic, there was no websites in the 80s, I guess. I don't know, but that's too far behind. I said, sorry. You told me it will take me 1 year to become a manager if I accept a senior accountant position. I agreed, even though I know I can be a CFO, whatever. They tried to degrade me, and I tried to hold on my career value, because I also submitted enough documents comparing myself to other group CFOs that I proved that they are fully not aware of who they are. Fully not aware of who they are, right? And I proved that. Why? I'm not bragging, but I'm in a position where I have to defend my character, unfortunately. And it's the CIA, so it's by God's grace that I lived. So, yeah, so this is my emails with the so-called career coach to prove that the CIA used them to block me from work, to support my accusation against the United States government that I was blocked from work by orders from the United States government, right? These are manipulative tactics they use. They targeted me for a reason. They didn't get the reason. They will keep blocking me, and torturing me until they get what they want, which they will never get from me. I'm not a man to submit to any hate feelings. I was born in Kuwait. I was raised on the Kuwaiti dinar. Anyway, it's higher level of dignity somehow. It's a Gulf culture. So in this submission, NESS, witness, it comes from witness, I guess. Supplemental submission documents multiple linked incidents of false witness preparation and attempted entrapment inside the Scarborough shelter. These events continue. This is so recent in Canada, actually. So before they try to commit a crime against you, where you will be blamed for it, they prepare false witnesses. So in my accident in Pennsylvania, there's a witness in the police report, false witness, because the depiction in the police report is 5% true. It's not fact. So I'm warning them that there is a process of building false witnesses. That's why I also fear for my life. The submission keys is one of the credibility type of submission. So when I talked to the Canadians here, I told them that when I moved to Statesboro, Georgia, my father-in-law, he ridiculed, he mocked a black service worker. So a man was serving us food in a restaurant as a monkey, right? Referring him as a monkey. He did like this, like this, right? And he's a pastor, but this is he worshipped the white Jesus, not the other Jesus. So as Muhammad Ali said, Jesus is white, everything is white. You know, there are churches in America, Brooklyn Tabernacle. They don't have any Arab in this church, right? Nobody joined their choir to sing. They live in the world that the CIA created, right? Anyway, so this incident sparks our initial debate. So the first time I had an argument was my ex-wife. How come your father is a pastor? And he make fun of a man like this, and he was old enough, right? He seemed to be retired. Because I come from a culture where we also honor our black Egyptians, right? We don't have this kind of sensitivity. The black Egyptians are the reason we won the war against Israel, because they spoke a language we don't speak, right? So back in the 1973, when they tried to take Sinai from us. Anyway, even football gamers and stuff like that. So during my time here in Canada, we all have seen, if you don't know, Trump was issued a video about Obama's mocking them as monkeys. So I'm not lying. This is the core evidence of my persecution. Those are white supremacist people who actually also work in the CIA or whatever, the FBI, and they dehumanize black people. And I mentioned in my AI analysis somewhere here that University of Michigan till now is teaching about assumption of intellectual inferiority against black people and Latinos, right? And the irony is that most of agents who followed me, most of agents who tried to guilt trip me, like, hey, somebody is holding a paper and somebody else is asking me, do you speak Spanish? And I say no, and somebody else opening this newspaper, holding it down, I speak Spanish. Most of the agents they use in the field, even in Sweden, they are black and Latinos. And the source of this kind of old tactics is led by white supremacists, right? So my family, my ex-wife's family, they did not receive any black people in their church, right? And they were mocking black people, right? And I later submit an evidence that I don't have this problem. So in the key submission, I compared my testimony in my affidavit with what the President of the United States did, mocking the Obamas because they are black as monkeys. So this is some kind of an attitude within those white people who believe they are superior to the black and Latinos, and they teach in Michigan that black means inferior, Latino means inferior. This course is still going on Coursera. This is the world America lives in, or whatever the CIA continues to promote, kind of. So we have seen POLI before. This is how they use the police to gaslight, right? Because also when they think you are visual, especially men towards women, and you're coming to a new country, the police is wearing something else, right? They are not dressed, they have a uniform. So for people who think they are visual, straightforward, stuff like that, the police is a model of authority, right? So when you see real police officers, not the ones I'm used to in Egypt maybe, or United Arab Emirates. I lived 6 years there, so I'm used to deal with them. They are highly respectful, right? So thinking that I'm visual, they use the police. The police is a sign of authority, and when you see police officers handcuffing someone and release him next day, where's the victim? Is the victim, he's the one who's punished, not the perpetrator. Right? So we discussed about this before. So PSYOPs also works like the CIA submission. All my claims, it's not a schizophrenia, it's not paranoia. I matched all my accusations, most of my accusations, the incidents that I have been through. When I say they tried to make me paranoia in the reception center here in Canada or in the US, these are documented psychological operations, tactics or operational tactics narcissists are doing. They have done it. It's a science. And I even noted this here. Yeah, here, see? So they gaslighted me in the Brooklyn school when I tried to become a medical pillar and coder. I passed all the exams. They end up listening to the CIA or whatever, changed their mind there. They slammed the doors around me in the school, in Liverpool, in Sweden, in the immigration office even in Liverpool, to make me think that slamming the door is just normal act of human beings, right? So I was telling one of the doctors there or the teachers there, being a victim or persecuted is not an idea in my mind. I am an everyday target of a funded organization, highly influential, highly trained specialists and psychologists in domestic violence, right? So early on, this email was on March, yeah, before I escaped the United States. I was tortured during this time. So I realized that this is, I cannot mention to this doctor CIA, but it's a psychological operation, right? So in this supplemental submission, I'm trying to tell the Canadians, which they know my case is no brainer, that, and they are still going on through the, like, if the, when they wanted me to meet with my caseworker, she intercepted me and offered help, right? They use this interception tactics to uh, guide you through what they want. Anyway, uh, so here are the psych operations and how it affect me, or what are the goals out of it. I matched all of this with what Dr. Romney, because Dr. Romney is the only one who talk about not only narcissistic abuse by uh, persons, but also by institutions, right? So she's the closest one on the internet. I mean, I didn't have time to search others, to be honest. There are some other interviews with FBI workers who get involved in negotiations. They know about anger, fear, emotions, how they are used, stuff like that. But Dr. Ramani, she was the quickest one I found to validate my accusations against the CIA that they used a psychological operation to alienate me from the United States, to torture me in the United States, to blame me for these misfortunate 10 years that I spent in my life not working like before, not making money like before. They choose the wrong man. I get used to work since I was a kid, since 11 years old. I carried a bag. I went to Upper Egypt, South. I sell these products, so I carry the bag with products. I get £1 for each 10-pound product I sell. I was working since I was young, so work for me is not a matter of prosperity, it's a matter of uh, perseverance, like self-reliance. So Dr. Ramani was the best to validate the psych operation, so most of this supplement will match the, here you go, down here, yeah, here we go. So this is with the help of Copilot. Every tactic I'm accusing the most of the tactics that I'm using accusing the U.S. government with, or trying to prove that this is a CIA psych operation, is proven by Dr. Ramani, right? Something like, for example, when I complain that, hey, uh, to this guy, you're the only one who call me Jace, because they erase your identity, right? Nobody will call you with your first name. Literally nobody. Which what happened in Canada. As soon as you complain from it, the one you are complaining from will use it. Jace, well, this pastor, it was first time for him to call me Jace. All right. So, and in regards to Jace, this was because I've been to the Catholic Church, and I started to realize what fatherhood means, stuff like that. And since I'm Egyptian, there's an Orthodox Church that follow the same structure, fatherhood. So I was stuck in an identity that is Protestant, not Orthodox. And there are lots of uh, Orthodox Egyptians. So John is a easy name, but it's Orthodox, right? So I didn't want an identity from Orthodox. So out of it's been 2,000 years, the Orthodox Church in Egypt, so many men, 100 million men have lived and died. All names have been used, so I was only left with this name because after I got baptized, I get to meet with Muslims, and they invite me to pray, and they ask me to praise Muhammad in their conversation. So I had to have a barrier, right? Kind of a boundary that I'm Christian. So I only changed my first name, but I did not change I did not abandon the Islamic names in my culture or me as an Egyptian. So my name is a little bit weird. It carries Islamic and or Western Eastern names, but that's my testimony. So I had to choose that name. It's not that I was playing American. I submitted another supplemental submission that denying the fact that I was playing American by any means. Like I went to Sweden because they didn't like a man who burned the Quran. So I thought that, hey, okay, they respect Islam. I'm an Arab. I'm a, like by default identified as a Muslim. So I escaped to Sweden, but unfortunately they tortured me in Sweden. So for example, also here in Canada, those guys, I asked them in December about, hey, you gave me 2 accounts to upload my documents in Canada. It's confusing, right? But that's a tactic used. Even the CIA director, look at the CIA director X account, he have 2 handles, right? CIA director, at the end, the CIA Radcliffe. So if you want to mention you, should we use this account or use this account? So when I complained here on March 29 that the Canadians are treating me with the same confusing manner, I immediately, see, on April 1, so I sent an email on December 16. I did not receive a response until I filed this supplemental submission data, not with the Canadians, with the Inter-American Commission for Human Rights and the Norwegians. I received a response from the Vancouver Immigration Department. Hey, don't use this account, use the other account. Well, that's a proof that this is a tactic that Dr. Ramani also confirmed. It's a tactic used. Like with the federal court, unless I complained, they were holding my refund. I filed a police report. Here you go. If you want your refund, give us your debit card number. We will refund you. It's like this. This is a narcissistic, coercive, and control tactics they use. So the PSYOP supplemental submission was all about matching my allegations of a psych operation by the CIA, a transnational repression pattern continuing in Canada. See YouTube links, dehumanization as a control strategy. Dehumanization is a classic narcissistic and authoritarian tactic. Racism is one of the most common forms, matches your examples. Pastor mocking a black man like a monkey, public figures using monkey comparisons toward black people, and white supremacist ideology in your ex-wife family. So I'm validating my allegations and accusations, right? The IRCC behavior, even the CBSA agent, they did not call me Jace, they called me with my middle name, which is, I don't need to comment on it. Anyway, so this submission is all about validating psych operations. NADA was submitted to the Norwegians and the Inter-American Commission for Human Rights. It's basically, I'm telling them this is how the Canadian government continued to target me, to dehumanize me, right? To kind of continue what the Americans did. I'm a man who came here on 2 crutches to the United States, expelled to Canada, expelled from Norway. My knee was broken, and they were just giving me a hard time, right? Gaslighting me, threatening me, Anyway, so erasing my identity, stuff like that. So yes, in Canada, CBSA officers was involved. Ontario Works, they closed my file. I'm not gonna call you. And later on, they tried to ask me to upload the same documents, which is a tactic used also before. Toronto Registry of the Federal Court, the Federal Court of Canada adapted a refund model recently. So before, you get used to submit your request, whatever, in the federal court, a motion or whatever, and then they send you a link to pay money. These days, you pay first, and then if it's wrong category, you submit under the wrong category, they should refund you the money. But in my case, they kept the money, right? This is the Federal Court of Canada. These practices we reported to the FBI in America. I don't know. The Canadians think it's okay to steal money, or I don't know how. This is the Federal Court of Canada, right? They hold my refund. And the rules is they have to help you file under the right category. But since I'm dehumanized in their eyes, right, I'm not a human who have rights. Like in America, you think you're American. No way. You will not get a job. You will not prosper. The maximum you can get is a social security number, an ID, a passport, stuff like that, right? The CIA would, they created in their minds. They did not refund me, or tried to refund me. They did not refund me the money yet, until I filed a police report that the Toronto registry stole my money, right? So this is the new system in the Federal Court of Canada. Me as an auditor, if I found this payment system works on a refund basis and they delay the refunds or even has no intention to return these refunds, so they keep a chance for mistakes, right? Before there was no chance for mistake. If you file under the wrong category, they will not send you a link to pay for it, right? Now, they will not guide you, which is invisible violence. It's not me who's saying this. This is government invisible violence. They make things vague enough. So before they change the system, something called application record, they change it to record, right? It becomes vague, right? This is tactics, not me. It's a known tactics by the governments, but this is where Canada is heading. It's a fifth world style fraudulent system, to be honest. They will hold back refunds from people. They will ignore them, which is the greatest weapon they use, the CIA use against us. Those targeted. Everybody will ignore you. You complain to anybody, the police, everybody will ignore you. Guys, I need this to be done. Nobody will call you. Nobody will respond to you back. You have to be isolated, and you have to be dehumanized. You have to be degraded. No, right? And stuff like that. So this is the Federal Court of Canada. Costi Reception Center, I reported about them, HRTO. You complain. So I complained to, I tweet to the CIA director that the persecution system in Canada cost a lot, because I believe, in my opinion, these human rights tribunals, their job is to bury the complaints of those marginalized or persecuted, right? Chinese, North Koreans, or Koreans and Arabs here in Canada, their salaries should not exceed 30,000 Canadian dollars. They line up in the food bank. They created this kind of thing. So when those people like me, targeted people as well, complain, their job is to bury the complaint, not to process your complaint. You are not a human. You don't have rights, not equal to whatever born in Canada, whoever we love, or whatever the CIA said. Okay, that's these are our friends. You're not Muslim, maybe. I don't know what's in their minds. So I'm not a politician. I don't talk these kind of things, but this is what I reported about what's happening in Canada. I shared so many emails. So the good thing here is that Dr. Ramani talked about crisis mode, right? Crisis, yeah, when narcissism, midlife crisis, yeah. So why narcissism keep you in crisis mode? And that's what they have done to me in this reception center, right? Nada, where's Nada? Here. So I submitted emails, and I have also voice recording of one of the managers confirming that I might be evicted in this cold weather, right? They put me in a crisis mode, so these emails actually prove that 2 months earlier, before I moved to this shelter here now, I told those guys that, hey, I will stay longer in Canada and 90 days will not be enough. They did not take any action. They put me in a crisis mode. You have to leave. You cannot stay here. You will be evicted in this cold. Your name is keeping popping up, stuff like that. They put me in a crisis mode. So, and I don't have to share this, but in case things escalated, I have a voice recording of one of the managers confirming that I will be evicted. I'm at risk of being evicted, right? In this cold, yes, we will evict you in this cold. We don't care, right? It's like your 90 days are over, you overstayed 2 weeks, you need to get out, right? So they put me in a crisis mode, and this is what the email's proofing. So I'm providing these written submissions. They actually also kind of risked Canadian lives because they surprised me. So these kind of surprises and betrayals Dr. Ramani talked about. So 2 months ago I told them, hey, I will need to stay longer, so they betrayed me because I trusted them, right? And in my case I have to trust them. I have no other solution. So they also surprised me while I was having two crutches in one of the situations. So if you surprise a man with two crutches, he might use these two crutches. Their goal is to make you angry. And there are incidents in America and even in Canada, especially in shelters, where people get angry and commit crimes. And what the normal people don't know is they are using you. When they smear somebody and they turn you against him and tell you, hey, go tease him, go, mistreat him, degradingly, disrespect him, they are putting your life at risk. In America, they do that. The CIA don't care about American lives. They don't care. But in Canada, are you guys doing also the same? Don't provoke somebody, right? Because in Boston, Massachusetts, in Texas, in New York, in shelters, they get you angry, boom, a crime, right? So intelligence people, those CIA, their mission is to squeeze you enough, to pressure you enough to snap, kill somebody, hurt somebody, do a mistake, neutralized, you're in prison. So it's a conversion cycle. Either you will get to prison or you will get to a psychiatric hospital. Either you will get angry, we will squeeze you, we will mistreat you, we will downgrade you, we will crush you, we will break your bones, we will isolate you, we will, do everything to make you get angry. And we only need one time for you to get angry, and that's it. You're neutralized, right? Get to prison. So in Canada, I came to Canada with two crutches. You don't surprise somebody like me with no bus tickets or something like that and dismiss him and disrespect him with two crutches. Crutches can kill somebody, right? So if I told the Canadians in my emails, if I have an anger problem, the CIA or whoever whom you're listening to, they will not tell you, right? Because what they want is to sacrifice your life for their goal to neutralize a man like me, right? The other option is they pressure you so hard, talk to yourself, right? Talk to yourself. That's what they surround you with, people talking to themselves, though you can do like them. Like they want you to get angry, they let you see people expressing anger, hitting the wall so hard in America around the shelter when I was tortured, hitting the wall so hard, screaming, stuff like that. So when I see something like this, under the pressure of being tortured, sleepless nights, I get angry. And I submitted also supplemental written submission. Why they use sleep deprivation? Because when you are sleep deprived, you are so vulnerable to get angry. So they pressure you so hard At times, not only you are tortured, but you are sleep deprived. They harass you everywhere, on the subway, everywhere you go. They keep harassing you because you're sleep deprived. You're not focusing. You will get angry. You'll commit a crime, which what they want, right? So let me get back to the written narrative because I've been speaking too much. Episode 6, the big picture. All previous tactics were part of a coordinated psychological operation. So I shared PSYOPs, POLI, NADA, keys, NESS, and CIA. The PSYOP supplemental maps every incident to documented intelligence methods. It uses the U.S. Department of Defense definition, the CIA KUBARK manual, and Dr. Ramani's Dorva Swall's framework of systematic narcissism. Key shows the white supremacist ideology, monkey troop, that underpinned the dehumanization. So basically, what the white people have applied at times of slavery against black people, they are using it against us as new targets for both of them, right? It's completely the white people are using the black people, of whom they mock as monkeys in America. So, and then they teach about uh, assumption of inferiority. So they use the black people against me when the fact is that they teach about those are inferior people and they mock them like monkeys. It's complete madness. Anyway, POLI, NADA, and NESS show environmental manipulation, evidence nullification. They delete files. By the way, they hack your devices and they delete files as much as they can. And identity erasure in practice. This is not random cruelty, it's a planned operation. So whatever I accuse the United States government with, that it's a CIA operation, stuff like that, is mainly in these two supplemental submissions, CIA and PSYOPs. So CIA matches the tactics and PSYOPs matches the psychological operation accusations or allegations. In episode 7, we examined false witnesses and interruptment, which I somehow talked about it. Thank you for watching. I will see you in episode 7. I have to repeat that I'm not a content creator. This channel was not created to make any money. It's not connected to any payment system. And I don't know how to create contents on YouTube, so I only left was dividing my screen and share it. I don't have the time to learn how either, and this is how I generate these episodes. It's AI generated, and here we are in moving to episode 7 in the next video. Thanks for watching again.